Yeah.
But yeah, so where we got to last time, um, unfortunately, we made the bizarre decision to stop recording and then keep on design chatting. And
That's right.
we had like the big eureka moments that we were hoping to capture on the podcast to make it interesting for people happened after we stopped recording. I don't know what our thinking was there, but so we had some breakthroughs. So shall I do my usual thing of just reading through my notes
Yes,
and
please, because
stuff?
I can't really remember what any of the breakthroughs were either.
Yeah. Okay. So, right. So we decided. I think some of this we did get on tape, but so we decided we're not going to do the prologue. That's relegated to backstory. It's going to start in the toilets. You're a of the tavern. You're a fallen hero cleaning the lavs. We possibly have one tutorial actual around cleaning the toilets, but we'll see. And then a drunk dragon bursts in and starts vomiting fire and magma into the toilet, causing destruction. And so you have to stop them because they're wrecking the place. An ice person comes in to take a piss in the urinal trough, and the puzzle is to get the piss into the dragon's mouth to stop to get the ice piss into the dragon's mouth to stop them vomiting fire. And once you achieve that, that impresses the ice person, and it turns out that they're new in town. They don't know about all your, the fact that everyone hates you and you fucked up the world and all that kind of stuff. And they need a hero. They've got some sort of problem that needs solving. So as you're helping the dragon out of the room, the ice person asks if you're a hero and if you can help. The dragon laughs and warns them off, kind of doing some exposition and saying, "Oh, you don't want this person. They're useless. Everyone hates them. They're trapped in a magical contract. They can't even leave the bloody tavern. Blah blah blah." But the ice person decides to give you a chance as long as you can achieve these certain things. So that's your tasks for the game, and the end goal is get that job so that you can become a hero again, and that's it. And so you enter into the tavern's main room, and we said that it's going to be like just one big scrolling room. It's going to be like a big maelstrom of chaos, just loads of activity happening. And the other thing we said was that we're not going to worry too much about. Yeah, we're going to develop this with the mindset of been there, done that. We're going to write it for fun and not worry about kind of how mainstream it's going to be and how sales are going to be,
Yeah.
and are people going to quit out and not come back and that kind of thing. We're just going to
Yeah, yeah.
write it for fun. So those were that's the big those were the big
I have to
eureka
say,
moments we
one
had.
of my favorite things, which I don't think we mentioned when we talked about it last time, is that I really, really like that the ice guy, like, turns to you, like, after he's finished pissing in a dragon's mouth, turns to you and goes, "That's some really impressive problem solving." Getting me to piss in that dragon's mouth. That was
I like the cut of your jib, sir.
where I come from. We don't have blue sky thinkers like you.
So yeah, so right, so immediate discussion points. So first off, I said this to you previously when you came and visited to do some freelance design, and even though I know it's basically it's silly, but I had it in my head, so I had to say it. Is that suddenly being in one big room and moving around a space that's full of chaos and stuff happening and solving puzzles suddenly feels very much like a first person 3D game to me, like with VR potential. And I know that completely goes against the entire plan we had of it being a simple 2D adventure game that I could do the coding on. But I
It
just
goes
thought
very
I'd
much against the hey, we should just write this for fun, like been
yeah.
there, done that, like because if push comes to shove, you and me can do some shit art for this and make it look all right. But we can't do it in 3D. We'd have to pay someone to do a vomiting dragon animation in
Right.
3D,
Yeah.
bare minimum. So, no is
Yeah.
the is the answer to doing it in 3D. Like,
Fair.
I think we need to make sure we keep this manageable. And
Yeah,
it's your first game that you're coding and taking the reins of.
yeah.
I don't think doing it in VR and 3D is at all sensible um,
Fair
because
enough.
obviously.
Fair enough. Maybe if it does really well, that can be a sequel or something, or a spin-off.
Exactly.
Okay, so right, so yeah, so the next things we need to talk about are what is the solution to the ice/fire puzzle? What are the main tasks of the game and like the structure of the game, and then maybe think about the ending as well. Though that we can always leave that to later, bend there down that style.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about like the general tasks first because I didn't have I've only had like a couple of ideas. They're not particularly interesting to be honest. So this may turn out to be a very short design session. But so I thought obviously one of the tasks you've got to do is break your magical contract so you can leave the tavern. And then I thought maybe we say three tasks. And we can always kind of expand outwards after that if we want to. But we say so maybe get a weapon and either prove your moral fibre by doing something good and heroic, or get a character reference from somebody, which is going to be very tricky because everybody hates you or something like that. So those are my thoughts on that.
Can I just butt in very quickly?
Yes.
My immediate thoughts on two of those are that getting a character reference when everyone hates you could be quite funny because you basically have to. It feels like something like Monkey Island 2, right? You're forging. You're getting a character reference for someone with a very similar sounding name,
Yeah.
and getting them to typo it or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So
Or
like,
it could be something like it's like a feedback form for the meal that you serve someone, and you have to make the meal so that it fits the things you want them to say
that's
about you or
perfect.
something.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
great. That's really good, and
Awesome.
that's so Monkey Island 2 as well. What was
Yeah.
it? What was the other one?
Get a
There was
weapon
also
and escape your magical contract.
the escape of the magical contract feels quite Monkey Island as well.
I lost you a little bit there. Feels what?
Oh, it feels quite Monkey Island as well.
Okay.
As like a puzzle. It feels like these they're not like big showy actiony puzzles. They're like quite simmery. Like anything involving paperwork is immediately a difficult thing to do in point and click games, as we know. But I like it if it's literally a magical contract and there's a bit of paper with like an orange glow around it, and in order to get a lawyer to rip it up, you have to destroy the shield, or like you do some magic shit to it. That's
Yeah.
like so
Yeah.
it's a bit more like interesting than talking to a lawyer and getting him to find a loophole.
Yeah.
It's uh,
Yeah.
it's uh, it's got a bit of pomp to it. It's got a bit of
Yeah. I still like the wizard gag with the magic portal that we had, where at first you think that's the way that you're going to escape the tavern, but then that just gets you to a closet. But in the closet is like something really crap, like a bag of salt or something. But that salt you can then use that to actually make your way towards getting the contract ripped up. Like you throw it on a slug person or whatever.
you
Something.
fucking love that portal to
I
a
do.
locked room.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you it doesn't work in 2D. And I don't know how to get I don't know how to get it I don't know how to get it working. It doesn't sit right with me. But we'll work it out. Like
Let's see.
you desperately want to do it. It's
I,
fine. We'll work
I've
it out.
yeah, I've thingied myself to. I've resigned myself to the fact that we might have to bin it, but it is really good. So it'd be nice to get it in if it works well. But yeah,
Yeah.
if it turns out that it just doesn't fit anymore, then that's fine. But but anyway,
So you get out
um,
of the box. You do these three tasks, and then satisfying ending,
yes,
and then that's it, and we're out.
yeah,
So it's like,
we can always expand out if
and
we want and come up
we
with
we
more
shoot for
tasks.
it being
But
2 hours gameplay, right?
yeah,
Just to get it over the Steam refund window.
yeah, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and then yeah, and
It sucks. Can I just put out how much that sucks as a game developer? Let's pad it out for an extra half an hour more than it needs to be, so that people don't game the system and steal money from us.
yeah. I mean,
Brilliant.
I think we should see how it feels because if we
Yeah,
go,
yeah,
you know what, this is a half-hour game, we'll have to make it as freeware or donationware or whatever, and be like, right, but hopefully it will be popular enough that we'll get into a time gentleman please situation where we've got the setup, we've got, you know, like we've got the pipeline, and now we can make a second one that is bigger and it's not in the tavern, and you know, and we can charge for it and stuff, and it's over 2 hours. Or we might come up with enough ideas that we're like, actually, this is a 3 hour game, that's great, and we want to do 5 tasks instead of 3 or whatever. But
like now I think about like me, who I am nowadays in the future, where we live. I think like if someone came to me and said, "Oh, as a point and click adventure, it only costs like £2, but it only takes half an hour," appeals to me more than, "Hey, as a point and click adventure, it costs £10, but it lasts 3 hours."
yeah,
Right? The idea of a half hour short actually
yes.
is quite.
But then you just have the issue of Steam
People
refunds.
refunding it. Like,
But maybe
like
we'll
we
just
said,
have to accept that as a risk.
if we're making it for shits and giggles,
Yeah, yeah.
we could just always put in like when you get to the end and it says, thank you, but this was all a dream, and now you have to play it." Do the same thing 4 more times, but like
But
everyone's
the puzzles are
really
slightly different.
slowly now.
Everything's a slightly different colour. Um,
Yeah,
okay, so yeah, and then the other things I thought were yeah. So like I said, so there's breaking the contract, get a weapon, get a character reference, maybe do something heroic. We'll see. And so I had like an idea about the ice and fire puzzle.
good.
Now it
Because
is
I'm stuck on that. I've been thinking
okay.
about it, and I'm just like,
Now this is really basic.
perfect.
But I think, like, bear in mind that the setup is very funny, and also it's basically the tutorial. So you know, I don't think it's too much of an issue. But
Also, if it's a very, very simple joke, that makes the bit where the guy comes through and says, "Man, that was some good problem solving." If the puzzle is really fucking simple, that makes that even funnier as well.
yeah, I mean, I'm imagining that it's the ice person that is the person who needs a hero. Because that's just
Yeah,
that's a
but
bit
that's what I
tighter.
mean.
Oh, okay.
If he's really impressed with your problem solving skills and the problem you solved, sorry, the solution was like
Incredibly basic.
incredibly basic. Go on then.
That I mean that, but yeah, that kind of works quite well as well because he's from out of town. He's very naive, and like that's the only way you manage to get a foot in the door. But
Yeah.
yeah, so let me see if I can share a file with you because I did a little doodle of it.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. So I'll put this in the chat. See if you can see that. So my thinking is like it's incredibly simple for the player to see that if the urinal gets tilted up, the ice piss is going to go into the dragon's mouth. It's like dead simple. You just need that left hand side of the urinal to drop. So what I'm thinking is that the holder on the right, let me just come back into full screen.
Little elves or something holding
Yeah,
up the trough.
so the holder on the right is a stone gargoyle. Like the urinal is
Okay.
a stone trough and it's got a stone gargoyle, but the holder on the left, the gargoyle broke, and because the tavern owners are so shitty and mean and nasty, it's cheaper for them to pay an elf at minimum wage to hold it up all day than to actually commission a new gargoyle. So that one is alive. That's a little pixie holding it, and so you need to get rid of that pixie somehow. And so I thought you could do
So
something.
hang on, Pixie, which one? Which pixie are you getting rid of?
The one on the left. So then the left hand side drops down, and
Right.
so it's an upward slope into the dragon's mouth.
Does water flow upwards?
Well, see, this was the thing. This was the thing I was thinking. I think if it's a really, really strong stream of piss and we show it being really fucking strong, I think we could get away with it. But
Okay.
yeah, I did consider that, and I was wondering what you'd think about that. But so I was thinking to get rid of that pixie, like you do something like I oh. So I thought so. Talk to could be you have to talk to the ice guy because he's having trouble pissing. So you talk to him about waterfalls and dripping taps and stuff, so that gets his piss going. So that's talk
Right.
to, and then so to get rid of the pixie, uh, urinal holder. I was thinking something like either you convince them that it's their turn for it's their break time, or you have to pick up a urinal cake and give it to them as a snack, so they'll go off and eat it. Or the dragon has feathers, and you get a feather and tickle the pixie under the arms, so that he drops the urinal and gets fired or whatever. So those were
I
my
like
very
it.
basic ideas.
Can I suggest something, a little tweak, which is
Yes.
that I think it's funnier if those aren't gargoyles, but the pub just employs like little pixie elves to hold up. That's their job. There's loads of shitty jobs being done around this pub, and these elves, their job is just to stand there all day, holding up a trough for punters to piss in. And then instead of like getting rid of one of them, like if you get them angry, they get bigger. They're like it transforms.
Oh,
So like
yes.
so the one on the right, if you piss him off, he goes "Rah!" and he lifts it up, and it like they, you have a nice animation of like muscles bulging and whatever, and then the water flows up the trough and into the dragon's mouth.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, that works better because then you don't have the tilting anti-gravity liquid thing to worry about. Yeah, so basically, so the ice penis is high. He's quite a big guy, so he's pissing from a great distance down into the trough, and the trough is too low. The trough is below the dragon's mouth. So, and like basically the trough has just got a hole in it, and it just drips out into a drain. So, and you've got the dragon there. So when you make these guys bigger, they go whoop, and then it's dripping
Oh, you
straight
made
into the
both of them bigger.
dragon's.
Okay, yeah, that works. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it. It's good, and it's got some like
Maybe you get them into an argument or something like that. Like so they're both arguing with each other, and they both go or
there's
something.
some nice scope for jokes about like you know minimum wage workers and shitty entry level jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
I
we
like
can
the
we
idea that
can
there's
call the
like
tavern Grabucks. Yeah.
yeah, great. I like the idea that there's loads of those. Yeah, I forgot we weren't doing that. Okay, but I like the idea that there's loads of those little creatures. Like every time there's you know a shitty job that there's just like I don't know, like not this, but like the front door of the pub doesn't close properly, so there's just an elf there whose job is every time someone comes in to have to like push the door shut slightly, and just like there's just like loads of them in the rafters and like behind the walls and stuff, just constantly sort of
Right.
peeking out and like changing light bulbs and doing all the like menial shit that needs doing, and these
Yeah.
two have got trough duty.
Yeah. Yes, I like it. Maybe there's a sign up. Maybe there's good help with the look at or something. Is there's a sign up saying please do not feed the trough holders or do not piss off the trough holders because they will expand in size or whatever.
Yeah,
Good.
good. Well, that's good because, like, I remember you and me on that bit we didn't record. We were sat there for like
Yeah.
3/4 an hour, trying to work out how you rotate a giant pissing ice monster
Oh
in an
god, yeah,
interesting
yeah.
way and stuff like that. But that immediately does it, so that's good.
Hooray.
Wow, well
Okay.
done us.
So that's opening
Very cool.
puzzle. So have you got any thoughts about the main structure of the game or the three puzzles or the ending or anything like that? I could read through some of the older jokes and puzzles that we came up with before that might still work.
Yeah.
So I quite like this. So, magically spill someone's pint from a distance to start a brawl. Put beer mats under a table leg to stop it wobbling, or remove beer mats from a table to start it wobbling. Let's see. There's the wizard portal thing.
Of course there is.
Yeah, and then there's not much else really actually for puzzles. It's more just kind of jokes and ideas and stuff like
Right.
everybody hates you and the slime beasts are all pricks and they're making gnomes act as their footrests and getting dragons to come and reheat their mead and stuff like that. But yeah, so we don't have a lot of ideas in.
Actual puzzles.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing to do is, so the ice guy is going to set up the three things you need,
Yes.
and we're like, you've got to have a decent weapon, got to be out of your contract, and you've got to have a reference.
Yes. Do we like
So we're
those?
immediately into the pub, and we can tackle those in any order, presumably.
Yes. And you know the brawl, like starting a brawl, works quite well with having to get a weapon.
Does.
You know, like you have to pull it out of a corpse afterwards or something like that. Or it's all pretty basic. we need to layer
I
this
feel
up
like
massively, but
I feel like there should be a guy, like a bragging hero guy, who's like, you like when you need a weapon, you need a majestic weapon, and there's like visually you need like some smug Gaston prick sitting there, with a colossal sword.
like polishing his
But
sword. Yeah.
Yeah. Just because you need that sort of, what's the word? Signposting to. Okay, that's the one. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
definitely. Yeah.
everyone's got like a little fucking crossbow and a bow and arrow on them or whatever because it's Lord of the Rings medieval times. But you need a something of, and he can have got it from the, it's like Skyrim style. He's got it from some dungeon, and it's
Right.
worth 1,200 things, and it does so many hit damage. No, not that because that's modern, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah,
he's got
yeah.
that. He's got it from like a crypt that he's recently raided, and
Yeah, and it's soaked in Hydra blood, so it's cuts through anything or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, that's nice.
and everyone else is just like
Um,
carved. They've carved wooden sticks into a sharp point or something like that. Everyone else is crap.
and so, what's an interesting way of getting that sword off him? Because my gut feeling was to have it like something hilariously unpleasant happen to him with his own sword. That, like, not this, but he's polishing it in a really dangerous way. He's got it on the floor with the handle on the floor, and his neck just holding it in place so that so that he can polish it like this. And you have to get one of these imp characters that's in the rafters to jump down and whatever.
The thing that leapt to mind for me, and this is I think this is too fiddly, but is that he's wetting his sword. He's got like you have a whetstone to sharpen your
Yeah.
sword. He's got one of those, and like maybe you have to swap that stone for a different kind of stone so it'll cause sparks, and then you have to spill drambuie on him or whatever to make him flammable or something
Do they
like
drink a lot of drambuie in Lord of the Rings?
that. It'd be called elf buoy or something.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I like that. The sparks thing is good. Would that I want to be like a pedant about these things, but would that actually happen? We did metal on stone in Clockwork God, and no one complained that that's not realistic. I must have googled that at some point to find out whether that would actually happen.
Must you have?
I must have. If you hit stone with a metal, it will cause sparks, right?
I wonder if like that feels
I
like
don't
the
know
kind
if
of
I'd bring
thing.
that.
I think that feels like the kind of thing I would have googled to see exactly what kind of stone it would be, and it was like a flinty. This flint tile is very flinty or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't think it's very funny. Like the thing where he's leaning on it like that is funny. So can we do a bit of both? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like this puzzle would need to be. We need to think of the end of it, right? This is what we do. We think of like the end, and then we layer in more and more reasons, more and more steps to get to that final point. So I guess like how you get sword off man how you kill man with his own sword. Like maybe you have to like not this, but the fire thing leads to him having to polish his sword in a dangerous way. So you do a bit of both. You get like a best of both worlds rather than one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like, you know, say he's cleaning his sword, he's polishing his sword in a dangerous way, or like in a like what we would have to change to make, you know, to cause him to kill himself. Like you'd have to swap his oil for extra slippery oil or something. Not that obviously.
What if what if he's a ghost, like a big green wispy ghost, and you have to manifest him into physical form and then kill him so you can have his sword? And he goes back to being a ghost and you get to keep his sword. That's quite funny.
Yes, that is good.
And then there's something a little bit more. There's like a little bit more going on than just a man has a sword.
Yeah.
That works for me. I like that.
So you have to do a spell or something like that to bring him to yeah, bring him back to life or whatever. And then, so how does bringing him back to life? How does that cause him to kill himself on the sword? Oh, I think I might have lost you. Oh no, yeah, there you are.
Yeah, I think it's like it come up with another step rather than solving
Okay.
the core problem. This is like a step, and then so he's back. He's a ghost, and he's got this massive sword, and he's obviously delighted to be alive again because he's really excited about being able to go back out and slay more hydras. Uh,
And
but
that's when
years
you
of years of neglect of his sword since he died means that he has to sharpen it, and that's when you do your thing.
yes. Okay.
That work? It sort of works. Okay.
So
Um,
is the sword a ghost sword that becomes physical, or is it a
yes.
real sword but he's guarding it, and because he's a
No,
ghost?
I think it's a ghost sword
Okay.
that becomes physical when he does,
Okay.
and then and you kill him, but his sword remains.
Okay.
So you need to get him to put the sword down, so he's no longer connected to it.
Uh, okay. I need to go to the loo, think about stuff. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Hello.
Aye.
Oh, right.
All right. Recommencing recording in three, two, one. Doesn't seem to be letting me. Okay. Oh, it's because I pressed stop. I pressed pause rather than stop. There we go. Back on. Okay, recording's back on.
Great. Uh, okay. So you were saying, right? So like we want to wrap this up in 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Is it worth us just wrapping up now? Now that we've
Yeah,
given
probably.
ourselves some stuff to go away and think of loads of ideas for.
Yeah, I like the fact that we've got the toilet puzzle done,
Yes.
and that
It'd,
feels
it'd be
nice.
nice if we can come up with a funny way to make them bigger, like a way to get them angry or to feed them or
Yeah.
pour water on them or whatever.
Okay. My pen.
And then yeah, it's really just coming up with lots and lots of puzzles for the main for the main thing really.
Okay. So let's for the next one. Let's look at those two. Funny way to get the pixies big, and the ghost sword guy puzzle, and see if we can like come up with some suggestions for each of those,
Yes.
and we'll go from there.
But also feel free to think of other stuff as well.
Yeah, I got a lot on. That's going to be.
Yeah,
And then
sure.
you need
But
to
you know, if you're
you
you're
need to
just
get
you're
that
sitting in bed and just thinking about fantasy
Uh,
development, you can't just come up with something, come up with a funny idea, you know.
True. And you need to get on with actually coding it and getting it all up and running. So
Yeah,
have a nice
can't
time.
wait for you to get that framework set up for me so I
Is
can.
that what we're waiting for? Is me to do the this bit?
Well, I think
Okay.
the general plan is we get it designed like pretty
Yeah.
much. We get all the puzzles like fully designed. Then
Okay.
we look at where we're at and what's happening with freelance stuff, and then we, assuming that we're good to go ahead, you set up the general framework in Unity, and then I start coding it. And then once we're happy that it's all coded, then we just write the dialogue and do art and polish and stuff.
And have fun.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good. All right. Well, let's leave that there.
Yes.
Nice to see you.
You too. Good work. Well done.
And I'll see you. I'll speak to you in another 3 months when we've had some
Okay.
ideas and some thoughts.
And do you want to say goodbye to our lovely listeners and viewers?
Goodbye, lovely listeners and viewers.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Jazz hands.
Bye, buddy.